Hello everybody. Okay, this is my review of The Bright Day, which I saw this afternoon. Indian film about a young Indian guy who sort of goes off on a journey of self-exploration. Some of this movie was okay. Other parts of it were just stupid, dumb. The character himself, the lead character, I did not particularly like. He was a bit of a simpleton. In my opinion, the guy was just annoying. Comes from this, like, I guess, sort of upper middle class Indian family. And actually, he seemed to be kind of a bit of a brat to me. Although I could relate to his situation. I guess he's like in his early 20s. He's going to university student. He's restless. He's young. He's, trying to find himself, trying to find out what he wants to do for a living, what he wants to do with his life, all that sort of thing. And, there's this one scene that was like, I just found it was like so... I mean, I don't know if it's really like this in India. I kind of find it hard to believe, but there was like the scene where him and his friends are in like the university just sitting around kind of, talking. And I swear to God, it was like watching the Indian version of Beverly Hills 90210. They're all sitting around smoking. Hey, yeah, let's go to Goa. What are you doing, dude? Fuck this, fuck that. It's just, it just seemed kind of like Americanized, and I'm like, wow, are they really like this over there? I just sort of didn't picture that. I don't know if it's the case or not, but I found that kind of odd. Anyway, so yeah, he's got this girlfriend who's this like really sort of loud-mouthed, aggressive, she wants him to stay, try to tell him what to do, what to do with his life because he tells her he wants to go off. She's like, what do you need to go off for? Everything you need is right here. It's inside you, blah, blah, blah. Turns out she's just like extremely needy because, the guy's going to leave. And she's like, oh, please don't go, begging him to stay. But of course he goes. Good for him. But, the photography in this movie was absolutely beautiful. Because he goes off on this, journey across India, and some of the photography is just stunning. The sun rising or setting over the Ganges River and all these temples and everything, and it's just beautiful. But like I said, his character, okay, he's this like young guy, he's your typical rebel, but a rebel without a cause, only not as cool as James Dean. Just aimless, aimless and kind of brainless, and, and I could relate, because, I mean, when I was that age, I sure as hell didn't want to, think about being tied down to some boring, dull job for the rest of my life either. And, I certainly fought with my parents about it, and I certainly got my share of grief over it from them, especially from my mother, which lasted many years. I went through this whole battle with her about it. So I could definitely relate to this guy's, dilemma and his, urge to just, take off and do what he wanted and be free and all that. Unfortunately, in my case, I didn't get the chance to go through that in India. I was stuck here. And believe me, going through that shit here was not fun. But, if I could have strapped on a backpack and gone hiking across India, I'm sure I would have been a lot better off. But anyway, like this guy just, he's fighting with his parents. But I mean, his parents were like, his mother was like, giving him a hard time once, but his father was like really understanding, and they're basically just babying this guy and coddling him. And, oh, do you need money? One minute they're screaming at him, get a job, figure out what you want to do, and he's resentful because they're comparing him to his older brother who's living and working in the States. And he feels like, that they value his older brother more than him. So he's having all these tantrums and crying, and just he's really like, kind of an insufferable character. I didn't like him very much. And then he's alternately either crying, moping, saying he's going to go off, or just kind of staring blankly into space, and No, and then on his journeys he meets this blonde American girl and they have this thing, but of course she's like, she doesn't want to be tied down. She's on her own thing across India, and she leaves and he's devastated, and then he goes and meets these other people, and just it was just not really, much of a plot, not really much structure, just, but I have to say, I stuck it through. I was tempted to leave one or two times, but then I thought, oh, I'll just give it another chance. And it kept me in my seat. I'll say that. And I think partly that was because of the beautiful scenery and the theme. Like, I really like the theme of the movie about him trying to find himself and questioning life and asking what life is all about and what he really wants, and having the guts to go out and get what you want, and take take the unknown path and all that. I mean, yeah, I could definitely dig that, theme, and I could relate to it, but just, I guess, the guy's character and the actor, I mean, no, I just couldn't relate. So I can't give this one a thumbs up, but I can't give it a thumbs down either, so I'll give it one of these. I'll give it a waiver. It was okay, but definitely nothing like, spectacular. And I can't I can't really recommend it. But, it wasn't a bad film, wasn't great. So, anyway, tomorrow is the final day of Tiff, and, I gotta tell you, I'm fucking tired. When it gets to this point, coming down to the final stretch here, it's pretty exhausting. I've got 2 movies tomorrow. The first one should be really good. It's a documentary about Marilyn Monroe called Love Marilyn, by Liz Garbus, the documentarian. She's really good. I've seen other movies of hers before, and they're always good. So this one, I'm sure, is going to be no exception with such a great subject. And then after that, I'm seeing a Whopper. My final movie is a Whopper because it's about 4 hours long. And it's a Japanese movie called Penance, and it sounds very good. So that's my itinerary for tomorrow. I'll be back with my final 2 reviews. And I will say good night because I am tired. This has been this day I've had like a transportation day from hell today. Awful. Anyway, I will see you later. Good night.